Hi everyone, it's Elaine Lingard here from Emerald Education Centre. I just want to quickly show you how our online meetings work for groups, for our little maths group that we had planned. I am just going to go through how I would normally set a group up so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so initially I plan using a notebook. So here is a demonstration of what might happen when we do that. Now, if I just quickly share my screen with you. Okay, and you'll be able to see what happens here then. So this is my notebook planner. So each day I just make some rough jottings about what I might include in each session. So today I've just popped in some links that I'm going to share with you to show you the sort of things that I might include in a lesson, and a little bit about how the resources work that I like to use. Okay, so the first one that I want to tell you about is the video conferencing tool that we're actually using here to record this meeting. It's called Zoom, Z-O-O-M, and Zoom has some lovely functions that we can use to teach online. Now I can share my screen with the students. I can hand control of my screen over to the students, which means that they can click on answers or annotate on the screen and various other helpful bits and bobs like that. Now I can share videos, I can share websites, I can share my own resources, I can share whiteboards, anything that I would use on my computer screen, I can share with the students using this platform. Now I'm just going to share a little video clip with you first of all to show you how the breakout rooms work with Zoom. Now the breakout rooms are a little function. It's a bit like having a group discussion to start with and then splitting into pairs or single workstations, if you like, for a child to work on their own. So we start together, and then I can use the breakout rooms to put a child or pairs of children in each room to work on an issue or a problem, and then call them back together. So if I show you this video clip, we can look at how the breakout rooms work. Okay, so it's just opening up, and here we are.
Video breakout rooms allow Zoom users to easily place meeting attendees into sub-meetings for group discussion, activities, projects, and more. To get started, log in at zoom.us and view the Meeting Settings section. Click to edit advanced settings and make sure that Breakout Rooms is checked. The next time you host a Zoom meeting, you will see the Breakout Rooms button at the bottom of the Zoom panel. While you are sharing your screen, the button is under the More menu. Click here to start using breakout rooms. Zoom will show the number of eligible participants. Choose how many rooms to create and let Zoom assign the participants automatically, or choose to manually assign for more control, as we'll demonstrate here. Create breakout rooms to proceed. Your breakout rooms are now available, and participants are still in the main meeting. Float your mouse over the breakout room to rename or delete the room. Click to assign participants, check their names, and click Assign again. Do this for each breakout room. Your participants are now assigned. If you want to change an assignment, float your mouse over a participant name where you can move the participant to another room or exchange the participant with someone already assigned to another room. When you're ready, click to open all rooms. This will cause your participants to automatically move into their assigned breakout room. The list will indicate that participants have successfully connected when the gray dot turns green. Meeting participants will be prompted to join breakout rooms where they can speak on audio, show their webcams, share screen, and chat as normal. They can also ask for help to send a prompt to the meeting host. Participants can also choose to leave the breakout room anytime to be returned to the main meeting. Return to the breakout rooms list as the host, and you can choose to join any of the breakout rooms to offer assistance. You can broadcast a message to participants, and a banner will be displayed. This is great for instructions or timing announcements. Again, float your mouse over a participant name to move the participant. When you are ready, close the breakout rooms. Participants will have 60 seconds to finish their discussion and will be returned to the main meeting. Open the Breakout Rooms menu again to quickly reopen the same breakout rooms or to make new assignments. To learn more, visit zoom.us/live training to register for weekly training sessions. Need help? Visit support.zoom.us for 24/7 assistance.
Okay, so that is a quick demonstration of how the Zoom breakout rooms work. Now, those will be very, very useful for setting challenges for children to work in pairs or to work on their own once a problem has been given to them when we work in a group together. Now, another resource that I really like using when I'm teaching is a whiteboard called BitPaper. Now that's the link at the top of the page here, and I've already opened this up. I open this in the Chrome browser, so that's over here. And in this whiteboard, there are lots of functions that we can use. I like to try to get the children, first of all, getting used to the whiteboard. Now, myself, to do writing, I have a graphics tablet and a graphics pen. Now, these make writing much, much easier because we would write on the graphics tablet as we would normally write on a piece of paper, and the writing will appear a lot more smoother on the screen. It's acceptable enough to be able to do it with your hand on the mouse pad, but it is much trickier. So, for example, if I was to look at writing hello with my finger on the mouse pad, it's quite slow and I can't get the exact sizes. But if I was to try underneath with my pen, you can see that it might look a little bit neater and it's a lot smoother to write. Okay, so the graphics pen does make a little bit of a difference in terms of control. So these are quite cheap to pick up. I believe they're only about £25 from Amazon, so they're not too expensive an outlay if that's something that you'd be interested in looking at. Now, with the board, I can allow the children to annotate on the board at the same time as me. We can select different colours. We have our palette to choose the different colours. We can change the size of the pen. We can change the eraser size on here. With the writing that we have on the screen already there, I can undo the writing by just clicking the undo button. I prefer to use the undo button than the eraser because the eraser will undo the PDFs that I've placed on the screen to work with, so I tend not to use the eraser. I tend to use the back buttons instead. Okay, now the exercise you see on the screen is a PDF. Now I can use any worksheets from anywhere on the internet or my own collection and add them into this whiteboard, and we can work on those together. So we have the opportunity to tap into any resources. So those sorts of things would be very, very useful for us to use. Now there is plenty of room here. As you can see, we can work on the whiteboard here. If we needed more space, we can actually move along by clicking on the toggle button here, and we've got all the space we need. It's an infinite amount of space on the board. Okay, so there is scope for doing lots and lots of working out on each page. Now, as we go through, we can add more pages. By clicking on the button here, we can add extra pages to do work. So it is possible to keep a record of the work that we do. Now, the whiteboard link we can keep, and we can use it as a resource that we can refer back to as well. So that is useful. Okay. Now, this is a very, very useful resource, and it would be one that I would use on most lessons. If we check back at the list, I mentioned before that I tap in and out of different resources on the internet. Now, this one here, mathgames.com, is one of the many sites that I like to use. So if we just open this up, I can show you the type of activity we might have on here. Now, it's an American site, so we have grades rather than years, but the activities are still valuable nonetheless. Okay. Now, we can play practice games, or we can play skills. Now, I like to tap in and out of this and look at the different skills. Now, if we come down to grade 4 and grade 5, this is where we'll find the bulk of the fractions work that we would probably start on. And we can see there are lists and lists and lists of different activities to look at. So here we have reduced to lowest terms, for example, and we can dip into this activity. And within a group setting, this kind of activity would be useful because we can use the scratch pads here as well, where the child can write on the screen. So we can use this in terms of working out on the screen, so we don't need to do it in our heads. So we can write our 4 8s, and we can work out what we can divide both of them by. We know that we can have 1 4 and 4 and 2 4s in 8. So I would be able to allow the children to do this and close the scratch pad and write in the answer 1/2. I'll just pop that in to show you. And then the child gets instant feedback. So there are lots of different games that we can play within this website. Okay. Now if we go back to our list, we've got another good site that I like to use called Edugain. So we'll open this one, and I'll give you a little look at this one too. Now, Edugain has different syllabus links for different countries. Now, I've already opened this one up with the UK syllabus. Again, because it's a worldwide site, it writes in terms of grades, but that doesn't affect the work that we would be looking at because it is geared towards the UK curriculum here. So if we have a look at the fractions down here, now I would work on all of these different parts of the website because they're all very valuable. The worksheets give you PDFs. These can be used within the bit paper whiteboard, or they can be sent as a link for a child to try at home. We can do tests online. Again, I can do these as a group, or we could send a link for a child to do at home. And we can do unlimited online practice. Now, this one here will show you quickly how this works. Just log in. Okay. Later. Okay. Now, if we go back down to the fractions and we go to the unlimited online, we can see we have lots of different problems to work through. So we would discuss how many years are in a century for finding a fifth of a century, and the child can write in the answer, then click on submit. Now, it's a very good mix of questions you would have in this type of platform. So we just pop in the 20 there and click submit. Again, we get the instant feedback, and we have different types of questions, as we said, like multiple choice ones here. And again, just a really good site to use. Okay, now that's another example. Next one I'd like to show you is an example of the type of manipulative activity that I would use. There are so many out there, and this is just one of the ones that I dip in and out of. So I click on here again, I'm keeping with the fraction theme, and if we open this one up, this is a very good activity for introducing equivalent fractions. Okay, so I might say to a child, find me an equivalent fraction to, I'll change that denominator. If we go to the top one, I'll change the denominator to 12ths, and I might say 3/12. So find me an equivalent fraction to 3/12. Now, we have the scope for individual children to take turns each to work on the different bars within this, or we can use this as a teaching tool. So the children can join in with this too by changing these around and working out what might work here. So they can move these to see what might be the same as 1/12. Okay, now that's another really, really good site that I use a lot. Now, Math Playground has got so many games, exercises, working logic games and so on. There's so many different bits and bobs to pop in and out of on this site. It's really, really useful. Now, another resource I like to use, I use online flashcards. These are from a site called Quizlet. Now, this particular set of flashcards that I use quite frequently just to keep on top of the mental maths skills, I use the multiplication tables flashcard. Okay, now let me show you how these work. Again, this would be a fun one that we could use within a group where we could shout out the answer or raise our hands or make some sort of fun signal. So within this, I can show the child the card and I can flip the card for the answer. Okay, and I'll move backwards in these ones just to show you. So we've got a whole variety of different cards with their answers. So it's a really lovely resource to use. I actually just used this one this morning with another child I was teaching online. So it's still up there from the progress that we made earlier. Okay, now that's our flashcards. And that's just a little taster of how an online lesson could look with some of the resources that we could use. And I hope that this is useful and shows you a little bit about the way that I like to work online. Now, please get in touch with any questions you might have, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them for you. Hopefully this was useful for you, and I look forward to meeting you all and speaking with you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.